Good morning. Welcome to First Unitarian Universalist Church of Columbus. My name is Cindy Wicker. My pronouns are she, her, and I serve on your board of trustees. I am a short white woman with multicolored hair, wearing a maroon sparkly dress, because you gotta have sparkle in your life sometimes. As we did last night, I couldn't come, hence why I'm wearing the sparkly dress. Our speakers provide visual descriptions to welcome people with visual impairments and those listening online. Thank you for joining us this morning. Please take a moment to silence your cell phones. You can scan the QR code to check in, access our donation page, or view the order of service. And yes, the order of service is online. I checked, just in case you guys were wondering. Visitors that are here in person are invited to pick up a first-time gift at the welcome table out in the gallery and look for the Getting to Know You sign in Beach Hall after the service to learn more about our congregation. Whether you are brand new here or you remember when First UU worked with our local congregations to form bread, everyone is welcome to come chat with me or another board member after the service. There's a lot happening here at First UU this week. Now, just so we know, I and a few of us will be pretty busy directly after the service, but we will try to talk to you. And the reason is because first of all, come to the mid-year meeting today after worship. Okay, you can stop in Beach Hall and grab some snacks, and then come back to the worship center to see what it's all about. Join us on Friday for First Friday Spaghetti Dinner. We will be having a screening of Defying the Nazis, The Sharps' War. Our own Reverend Teresa was involved in helping this movie come to fruition, and we hope to see you there. The Anti-Racists Allies will be taking a day trip to the Cincinnati Underground Railroad Freedom Center on March 8th. Reach out to Dania Furta if you would like to join in. On Friday, March 14th, First UU and TASO, the Turkish American Society of Ohio, will be holding a dinner here at First UU. Come for some interesting conversation and delicious food as we break our fast with our Islamic friends. Please RSVP to help us make sure there is enough food. Our next Pathways to Membership class is Sunday, March 9th. If you are interested in becoming a member at First UU, please consider signing up for this class to learn about the benefits of membership. For all these announcements and more, see your order of worship or this week's Friday news email for more details. However, our final announcement is not in your order of worship, and it is our most exciting announcement. We had a glittery live auction and celebration last night, and this fundraiser was an amazing success. Can I please ask the Sparkle Fairy to come up to help with this final announcement?
Good morning, Sparkle, 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 Sparkle. Can I ask if there are any auction team members out there in our congregation who are still alive after this long event to please stand up? Anybody out there? All right, we have some auction member team. These folks have been hard at work for the past several months, planning details, renting tables, making decorations, hiring caterers, and doing all the million little things it takes to put on an event like this. Now, can I see the hands of all the people who volunteered for the auction? I know there's a lot of you out there. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Can I see the hands of those who came last night to the auction event? Woo! Now, also, if you can please raise your hand if you donated an item to the auction. Wow! And how about if you bid on an item from the auction? Woo! You all helped to make this event a success. we are thrilled to announce that our current sales amount to a total of $36,645. Woo! This includes over $6,000 for the purpose of updating our sound system. And good news, everyone. You can continue to purchase unsold items during our after sales for the next 2 weeks. There's a lot of bid sheets out there in the fellowship hall waiting for you to sign up. Now, as you notice, I don't have my wings anymore. That's right. I am retiring. But before I do, I am making all of you honorary Sparkle Fairies. Sparkle on, everyone!
And now, please rise in body or in spirit to sing Do You Hear, number 112.
Good morning.
Good morning.
My name is Alice Rathburn. My pronouns are she, her. I'm an older Caucasian woman with short brown hair and glasses, wearing a bright yellow love t-shirt over a black turtleneck. And I'm a First UU Bread team member. Our Bread team is presenting this Sunday's service. Bread stands for Building Responsibility, Equality, and Dignity. It is a 40-plus interfaith organization founded in 1996 by our church and 10 other congregations to use the power of organized people to get change made for justice in Central Ohio. We gather on the stolen land of the Wyandotte, Miami, Seneca, Erie, Shawnee, Delaware, and Cayuga people, many of whom were forcibly removed. We support the Native American Indian Center of Central Ohio in their land bank campaign, and we know that we have more to do to be in true relationship and solidarity with the land and those indigenous to it.
Good morning. My name is Marilyn Webster, and I'm a member of the bread team. I'm a short white woman in my 70s with glasses and short graying hair, wearing a yellow t-shirt that says, "Standing on the Side of Love." And now let us enter into the spirit of worship with these words by Desmond Tutu. Restorative justice seeks to rebuild what has been broken, to restore what has been lost, and to heal what has been wounded. It's a powerful tool for building resilient communities and nurturing a culture of empathy and understanding. And it is now time for our children to meet Gus and Amber in the back to prepare to bring in the light. Everyone else, please turn to your neighbors and introduce yourself. Time for our children to bring in the light.
Children are bringing in the light now.
Children are bringing in the light.
Good morning. Welcome. My name is Robin Lawson, and my pronouns are she and her. I am glad to serve as a member of your bread team. I'm a white woman in my early 50s with short, wavy red hair. I am also wearing a yellow Side with Love t-shirt. This morning's chalice lighting is So That We Might Together Shine by Eric Walker Wickerstrom. When we light our chalice, everyone focuses on the flame, yet it is the paraffin of the candle, the cotton of the wick, the potassium chlorate and sulfur of the match, and the oxygen in the air around us that makes that flame possible. As leaders, we are not called to be a lone beacon on the hill. Rather, we are meant to work together so that we might together shine.
Thank you, Calliope, for your help lighting our chalice. Good morning. I'm Amber Scott, your Director of Religious Exploration, and my pronouns are she, they. I'm a white femme millennial with wild and wonderful wavy hair, and I'm wearing a dark red jumpsuit. Today's story is called The Talking Circle, from The Sharing Circle, Stories About First Nations Culture. Author Teresa Muse is a Mi'kmaq writer born and raised in the Bear River First Nation community, and illustrator Arthur Stevens is a Mi'kmaq artist and member of Millbrook First Nation Band. Matthew was on his way to attend the first Boy Scouts meeting. He was very excited because his uncle was a group leader. Matthew had never been to a Boy Scouts meeting before, but knowing his uncle would be at the meeting helped him to feel less afraid. When Matthew arrived, he noticed there were a lot of boys. Everyone was talking and laughing. Scouts is going to be fun, thought Matthew. Soon, Matthew's uncle and two other group leaders asked everyone to find a seat. Boys scampered in all directions. Some sat on the floor, some sat in chairs by the wall, while others chose to sit by the window. One of the group leaders asked the boys to introduce themselves. Everyone began talking at once. What a lot of noise, Matthew thought. He could barely hear himself think. Finally, in a loud voice, one of the leaders told everyone to be quiet. He said that each boy should take a turn introducing himself. One at a time, they each shared stories about their families. Some boys talked about their brothers and sisters. Some lived with their dads, while others lived with their grandparents. Some talked about their pets and favorite toys. When the last boy finished introducing himself, the leaders talked about rules, as well as some of the activities the boys would get to do at future meetings. As the leaders talked, they walked around the room, turning their heads so they could see all the boys. Matthew was having problems hearing the leaders, so he raised his hand to tell them. The other boys agreed that they couldn't hear very well either. "What are we going to do?" asked the group leaders. Matthew's uncle smiled and told the other two leaders that he had an idea that just might work. He asked the class if they wanted to learn about his First Nations culture. The boys raised their hands or nodded in agreement. Matthew's uncle explained that in his culture, when a lot of people gather to talk, they do it in a special way. First, everyone sits in a circle. Then a leader is chosen. The leader is responsible for making sure that everyone gets a chance to talk, and everyone else must listen. The leader does this by using a talking stick. When a person holds a talking stick, it is their turn to talk. If they do not wish to say anything, they pass the stick to the next person. Matthew's uncle explained that he had been a leader in many talking circles and that some leaders might choose to use something other than a stick, like a small stone or a feather. For their talking circle, Matthew's uncle chose a beautiful stone that fit perfectly in the palm of his hand. After asking everyone to form a circle, he introduced himself. When he finished, he passed the stone to the boy on his left. The talking stick is always passed in the same direction that the hands of a clock move. Each boy took a turn, and everyone was able to hear easily. When they had all had a turn, Matthew's uncle explained that when everyone sits in a circle, it's easy to see each other and to hear each other's voices. In the circle, everyone is treated as an equal. The circle also teaches people to have respect for others. No one is allowed to talk or disturb the person who is talking. People learn how to listen and be patient because they have to wait their turn. They also learn to have a good memory because if someone wants to respond to something that someone else said, they must remember the idea until it's their turn to talk. So, the talking circle is a very useful thing and teaches people a lot, said Matthew's uncle. The boys thanked Matthew's uncle for teaching them about the talking circle. Just before leaving the circle, one boy raised his hand and asked if they could start every meeting with a talking circle. The group leaders smiled at each other and decided that would be a great idea. From that day on, whenever the Boy Scouts had their meetings, they all gathered in a talking circle. Best of all, the boys took turns choosing the talking stick for each meeting, and they liked that idea best. The end. Let's consider how much more we are able to accomplish when everyone's voices are heard. Indigenous talking circles inspired restorative practices that many communities use today. Please remain seated with hands over your hearts as we sing Go Now in Peace, number 413, to sing our beloved children back to their families and out to class.
My name is Chris Johnson. My pronouns are he, him. I'm also a member of our bread team. I'm a bald 40-something guy wearing a yellow Side with Love shirt and glasses. In this month of March, we are sharing half our offering plate with Pathway Clubhouse. Pathway provides a friendly communal space for adults living with mental illness in Franklin County to participate in the development of social relationships, employment, education, opportunities, and community involvement. Through Bread's mental health campaign, First You fought to fund Pathway Clubhouse's expansion and accreditation. I was at their accreditation party. It was a great day. And we have continued our relationship with Pathway ever since. Today we have Connie Iono, Pathway Clubhouse Specialist and Licensed Social Worker, and Shireen Mehta, Pathway Member and Advisory Board Member, here to share more with us.
Go ahead, Connie.
Oh, well, thank you for having us. Just a little bit about Pathway. Our strong suit is being a vocational program, and we do assist people to gain competitive employment if they wish, but we also have so many other activities, volunteer work and supported employment and the work order day to get experience in like our clerical unit, our commercial kitchen, what have you. And the donations that we get are so helpful because we have a strong arts program, we have art shows, we buy art supplies with the money. We also do a lot of plant growing and decorating of pots, and we sell those at farmers market, and that's possible through the donations that we receive. And we have a recognition dinner, for instance, once a year at Dear Dutchman. We just do a lot of things in the community and have a lot of fun. So we're very appreciative of the support that we get from the church. Thank you.
Yeah, my name is Shireen Mehta. I've been part of Pathway since 1984. If you can imagine growing up and not feeling like you fit in anywhere, you had to pretend to be somebody you weren't. But when I compare it to the way I has been at Pathway, I walk in the door and I'm accepted for just me. I don't have to pretend to be somebody. I can just be myself, and that's an empowering feeling, knowing that you are okay, that you're not so different as you've always been led to believe. And Pathway is a perfect fit for that.
Thank you, Connie and Shireen. I bought a painting of Shireen's on my wall from one of their art shows. If you'd like to talk more with them after service, they'll be at the jam table. You can learn more about Pathway. We have some literature. In addition to passing the basket, you can text to give, scan the QR code, or visit firstucolumbus.org/donate. Thank you for your generosity.
Thank you. Good morning. Good morning. I am Rev. Amanda Hayes. My pronouns are she, her, and I serve as your justice minister. I am a white woman in my mid-30s with short, spiky hair and glasses. Today's pastoral listener is Pat Snyder. If you have something on your mind or heart today, she will be in Beach Hall after the service and will be happy to listen. There are also caring cards to sign in Beach Hall after worship. So, one thing that we do as a community is we share our joys and our sorrows together. This morning, we send healing thoughts to Chris Sullivan, who fell last weekend and needed surgery to repair a fractured tibia. Chris was transferred from Grant Hospital to Riverview Health and Rehabilitation Center on Olentangy River Road on Friday, February 28 to start her recovery. Calls, cards, and visits are welcome. Please call or text before you visit to confirm that she won't be away at a follow-up visit. We also send thoughts and prayers to Pope Francis, who has been hospitalized with pneumonia. May he feel comfort from the entire world on his journey in whatever form it takes. We hold the joys and sorrows of our community both spoken and unspoken, gently in our hearts. As Unitarian Universalists, we believe in the dignity and worth of every person, including when people have made mistakes that harm others or harm the trust within their community. Sometimes, this belief is easier than other times. In this moment of uncertainty, crisis, and terror for so many of us in this room, in our country, and around the world, continuing to believe in the dignity and worth of every person, even those we see as responsible for the suffering of this time, can feel impossible. I invite you to join me in a short loving kindness meditation, which is a Buddhist practice that can help us over time to build the spiritual muscle of love toward our beloveds, toward ourselves, and even toward those who feel like enemies. You may want to close your eyes or soften your focus. Often with loving kindness meditation, the practice is to send loving wishes towards someone you already feel positively toward someone neutral, toward someone you have difficulty with, and also toward yourself and the whole world. For this practice today, we will just be sending well wishes to someone you already have fairly uncomplicated, positive feelings toward. So think of someone you love. It could be a child, it could be a pet. And imagine them in your mind's eye. And imagine that you are wishing them well in whatever words feel right to you in this moment. You might imagine saying to them, "May you be safe and protected from danger. May you be healthy and strong. May you have ease and well-being. May you be happy and peaceful." I was taught that when doing this practice towards someone who has done harm, one might say something like, "May you mend your ways and find true happiness and peace." Continue your well-wishing toward this person you love. May you be safe and protected from danger. May you be healthy and strong. May you have ease and well-being. May you be happy and peaceful. And now just notice what you are feeling in your body as you wish these things. You may feel nothing. You may feel a sense of warmth in your chest. You may feel silly or have a feeling you wouldn't have expected. And whatever you're feeling is okay. Just allow yourself to notice and accept that feeling. And now I will ring our temple bell, and we'll have a moment of silence together.
Thank you, choir and director. Wow, was that exciting and gorgeous. Wow. Thank you, thank you. This is Robin Lawson again. I am Robin Lawson. So today I'd like to take just a few minutes and talk a little bit about what is restorative practice. And so here we go. From the International Institute for Restorative Practices, restorative practice is a transdisciplinary field of study that examines how to strengthen relationships between individuals and improve social connections within communities. Restorative practices are used in conflict resolution, creating dialogue, bridging gaps across divided groups, and building cultures where all members have a voice, work more efficiently together, and become more innovative. Just as we need food, shelter, and clothing, we also need strong and meaningful relationships to thrive. With all this in mind, what is restorative practices? Restorative practices is a field within the social sciences that studies how to strengthen relationships between individuals as well as social connections within communities. Though newer to the social sciences, restorative practices has deep roots within indigenous communities throughout the world. When put into practice, the effects are profound. In schools, students experience greater safety and sense of belonging, resulting in improved behavior, less bullying, and less violence. In workplaces, leaders facilitate direct communication among staff and address conflict as it arises. The result is higher performance, greater accountability, and effective collaboration. In criminal justice, new options allow victims and offender, friends and family to repair the harm caused by crime. Throughout our neighborhoods, restorative practices give people a greater voice in the issues that matter most. In a nutshell, restorative practices is the science of relationships and community. Your individual daily interactions have a big impact on the world around you, at your job, with young people, and throughout your community. How we relate matters. I would like to take a couple more minutes to share my personal experience with restorative practices in action at Columbus City Schools. As a BRED committee member, I had the opportunity to participate in one of several two-day restorative practice trainings facilitated by Columbus City Schools. Many of our BRED network and team members participated. These workshops were also open to BRED congregations. Later, I participated in a 3-day workshop taught by International Institute for Restorative Practice to train the trainer. This immersive introduction was an incredible opportunity for growth and development. As part of our ongoing campaign for implementation and monitoring, BRED staff, team, and network members were invited to an in-person demonstration of student-led restorative practices at Walnut Ridge High School. Walnut Ridge is one of 5 high schools in this special pilot program and was eager to share their progress with us. We got to meet Columbus City Schools students, staff, and administrators to learn how the implementation of the student-led restorative practice is rolling out. A CCS video was produced and presented showing progress and how a responsive circle works. Then we held a community circle where the students facilitated a check-in and follow-up questions. We used a fun toy as a talking piece. We learned about each other across generations. We had question and answers when students got to explain how the student-led restorative practice works, how they felt about it, and how it benefits them in and out of school. In the end, my observations and feelings about the experience were, I felt included. I felt my voice was heard. I felt the students expressed their authentic selves. I felt students demonstrated confidence. I understood what the students and staff need to be successful. I felt amazing possibilities to help develop a restorative community. We're now going to view the video that Columbus City Schools produced that shows how the student-led restorative practices work.
In the library at Walnut Ridge High School, a group of students are getting to know each other. They call themselves the Swarm.
Every time we're coming, we're gonna swarm you with this embrace of positive knowledge. We're gonna swarm you with just love.
The conversation ranges from light topics such as what is their favorite food to more intimate questions like what emotions are they feeling today and do you feel like your voice is heard amongst peers. Students are leading the way through student-led restorative practices with the purpose of improving the culture and climate in schools and growing connections while enhancing communication.
I think that that's very invaluable to promoting a healthy school culture, because having it so that the students can resolve their own conflicts can be much more fulfilling than just having a teacher tell you how to do something.
Hunter Praze is participating in his first restorative circle, one of 3 key strategies that creates a healthy and equitable space for students to communicate and connect with one another.
The idea behind restorative practices is that we're constantly looking for how can we have the response to whatever behavior we experience be one that calls people into a sense of community.
Columbus City Schools is in year 2 of the pilot program. With help and guidance from restorative practice coach A.J. Crapel, students at Walnut Ridge, Briggs, Beechcroft, and Mifflin High School are learning how to facilitate conversations, which can lead to better relationships and communication between peers and teachers in the building. Student-led restorative practices focuses on 3 categories of circles: community-led circles, a proactive circle that leads to connection and community building; mediation circles, a restorative conversation used for conflict resolution; and restorative circles, a process where a person who was harmed and the person who has harmed come together with others who have been affected to discuss what happened.
It's really empowering to me to be able to have people come in and have a problem and you can solve it.
Jamari Fleshman held her first mediation circle last year, helping a fellow student resolve a conflict with a teacher and avoid suspension.
I got in trouble before I was in restorative practice. When I got in trouble, I could have been suspended and not being able to play in a game on Friday. But we did the practice and did the restorative circle, and I actually had a lot more time to recover myself, and I actually got to play in a game on Friday.
Jatai Wright is now participating in student-led restorative practices as a student leader and hopes to use his story to help other students resolve conflicts.
A lot of kids, I don't really see them get in a lot of trouble that much no more. Matter of fact, a lot of kids look forward to being in a restorative circle.
We aren't going to police our way to greatness. We're either going to invest in the capacity of our students, give them the tools they need in their toolbox to really be great on their own terms, or we are deluding ourselves that the culture and climate is ever meaningfully going to change, that we will temporarily suspend children into submission, but we won't educate them into their own greatness.
There we have it. Please remain seated to sing our next hymn, Break Not the Circle, number 323.
Break not the circle of enabling love, where people grow forgiven and forgiving. Break not that circle, make it wider still, till it includes, embraces all the living. Come wonder at this love that comes to life, where words of freedom are with humor spoken, and people keep no score of wrong and guilt, but will that human bond remain unbroken. Join then the movement of the love that frees, till people of whatever race or nation will truly be themselves, stand on their feet, see eye to eye with laughter and elation.
BRED's Juvenile Justice Committee has been working to improve the lives of young people in Columbus and Franklin County for a very long time. We recognized that the response to juvenile misbehavior had become a school-to-prison pipeline. It frequently did little to address the issue and too often set the young person on the road to more serious offenses and incarceration. Our 2009 research showed that during the previous school year, the Columbus City Schools had given almost 4,300 students out of school suspensions for truancy. Obviously absurd. Brad pushed the schools to end this practice and instead pursue an evidence-based program addressing the causes of truancy. With Brad's people power and a lot of follow-up, we won that campaign. A later Brad campaign tackled juvenile crime. We recognized that the standard juvenile justice system often did little to prevent recidivism. Young people went to juvenile detention and came out just having learned how to be better criminals. Brad worked with the juvenile court lead judge, Elizabeth Gill, to establish restorative justice circles for nonviolent juvenile offenders. By bringing together the juvenile offender, his or her parents or guardians, the victim, and members of the community, restorative justice circles address the needs of the youth, the victim, and the community by developing a holistic understanding of the youth and the circumstances that led to the offense. The circle participants, including the youth offender, discuss the offense, ask questions, and decide together what the youth offender can do to take responsible for his or her actions and to make restitution to the victim. Successful completion of this diversion process results in the youth's formal court record being completely deleted. In 2016, Brad returned to the problem of juvenile justice in both the schools and the county. In the schools, we looked for effective evidence-based interventions that could reduce suspensions and improve school climate. We learned that an existing model for school-based restorative practices, the relationship-building, proactive counterpart to restorative justice, was in place in Pittsburgh schools. Brad's Juvenile Justice Steering Committee got members of the Columbus City Schools administrative staff and board to join them in a trip to observe restorative practices in Pittsburgh's classrooms. We also met with their administrators and teachers to discuss obstacles and to hear about the difference the restorative approach had made. Brad got the Columbus schools to begin implementing the program before the pandemic closed the schools. Since the schools reopened, over 1,400 school staff have been trained in restorative practices, which includes restorative justice. Brad continues to monitor the school's program to ensure that it is being implemented with fidelity and that it keeps on growing. In Franklin County, we learned that although Judge Gill had established restorative justice circles in the juvenile court, the program was not as effective as expected. Brad got Judge Gill to have the program evaluated by the International Institute of Restorative Practices and to implement its recommendations, leading to a successful restorative justice program. And our own Scott Birch was a member of one of those restorative justice circles. It was paused for a short time when its coordinator left the position. But here to tell us about the program as it stands now is the new coordinator, Courtney Kellum. Courtney?
Good morning, everyone. Thank you for that warm welcome. My name is Courtney Kellum, and I am the Restorative Justice Coordinator for Franklin County Domestic and Juvenile Courts. We are thrilled to continue to advance the fight to expand restorative justice principles throughout the state alongside the BRED organization. Although we just recently relaunched the program, I'd like to take time to highlight a few impactful moments that I've observed thus far. Without sharing too many details, one of our most recent cases helped bridge the gap between two feuding brothers. And another circle meeting helped to reveal deep-seated internal struggles of the youth that the parents were unaware of. We did take time to provide additional resources to those families following the meeting. We are doing great work out here, but we need your help. We are still looking for more volunteers to participate in the restorative justice circles. I do understand that life is hectic, but if you have some spare time and would like to assist us in guiding the youth in the right direction and helping to repair harm that has been done in the community, this is the perfect opportunity for you. Please come see me after the service for more information regarding our restorative justice circles. Lastly, I would like to thank the BRED organization for their hard work and dedication to the cause. Thank you.
Thank you, Courtney. Many other BRED campaigns are connected to the ideas of restorative justice and restorative practices. The Columbus Violence Reduction Program, CRV, established in 2023 after years of hard work by our Gun Violence Committee, has a lot in common with restorative justice. Under CRV, violent offenders are invited to a call-in meeting where the community delivers a clear message that the violence must stop, and they're also offered the resources they need and services they need to get out of the lifestyle. Our jobs campaign got City Council to create an incentive for companies to hire people with criminal records. BRED has worked with the Columbus Safety Collective to establish a non-police crisis response program that can more effectively respond to people in mental health crises and other similar crises. There's a lot of work on that still. There'll be more information. Beyond criminal justice, BRED has worked in other ways to build a city where we don't write people off. We've championed community mental health care, like Pathway, to help people overcome those obstacles in community with others. BRED has worked on housing numerous times, including our current campaign against predatory landlords, because we know the underlying cause of so many community problems is a lack of safe, affordable housing. List goes on and on. So how do we do this? We do it with the power of organized people. Every spring, thousands of people gather at BRED's Nehemiah Action. This year, on Tuesday, May 13th at 6:40 p.m. at the fairgrounds, to show public officials that we're paying attention and that we will hold them accountable for addressing community problems. BRED meets with public officials throughout the year. I can only guess how many meetings Alice has been in with the Columbus City Schools. But the only reason they listen to us in those meetings is because First UU and other BRED congregations are consistently able to turn out large numbers of people to the Nehemiah Action year after year, campaign after campaign. If you want to find out how you can be involved in BRED, come to First UU's network organizing meeting on Saturday, March 15th, not this coming Saturday, but the one after that, at 11 a.m. right here in the Worship Center or on Zoom. Together, we can make Columbus a restorative city. BRED rises. Please rise and body your spirit to sing the fire of commitment, our closing hymn.
From the light of days remember, burnt a beacon bright and clear, guiding hands and hearts and spirits into faith set free from fear. When the fire of commitment sets our mind and soul ablaze, when our hunger and our passion meet to call us on our way, when we live with deep assurance deeper justice built by our courageous choice. When the fire of commitment sets our mind and soul ablaze, when our hunger and our passion meet to call us on our way, when we live with deep assurance of the flame that burns within, then our promise finds fulfillment and our future can begin.
As we prepare to leave this place, we carry with us our deep conviction in the dignity and worth of every person, including when people have made mistakes that harm others or harm the trust within their community. I invite you to imagine how restorative practices might be used to build trust and restore trust in your own life, in our First UU community, and in our city. Our Unitarian Universalist practice of covenant making, covenant breaking, and covenant renewing, with the help of our covenantal relations team, is one such area where we are learning to be more restorative as a community. As Chris said, anyone who would like to learn more about bread is welcome to join us for First UU's Bread Network member meeting in 2 Saturdays at 11 a.m. right here or on Zoom. And remember, First UU members, please stay for our mid-year meeting right back here after this service. And now let us extinguish our chalice together. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of vision. As we go forth, let us heal and transform ourselves and our world through reason and love.